Let me ask you something scary. How can a man work hard every single day and still stay weak inside? How can a man grind, sweat, show up, push himself and still lose in life, in dating, in respect, in attraction? How can a man be disciplined yet be invisible, unseen, unvalued, unwanted? Sounds insane, right? But it's real, and nobody warns you about it. Why do some men clock in and clock out their whole life but never grow? Why do some men follow goals but never build identity? Why do some men try harder yet attract less? Why does a man stay loyal but still get lied to? Why does a man give love but gets treated like a backup plan? Why does he stay available and end up ignored? Why does he stay disciplined with habits but undisciplined with his emotions? Why does he stay consistent in routine but inconsistent in self-worth? And the worst one, why does a man keep showing up for everybody? If these questions sting, good. And yes, by the end of this video you'll understand every solution. Some men don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because their discipline is pointed in the wrong direction. A man can be disciplined and still weak, disciplined and still desperate, disciplined and still stuck in emotional chaos, disciplined and still chasing love like a lost kid, because discipline without identity turns you into a disciplined loser. A man who tries hard at all the wrong things. You wake up early, great, but you wake up to impress who? You hit the gym, nice, but your mission is what? You text her fast, sure, but what does that say about your value? You work like a machine, but inside, you're soft, you're needy, you're scared to lose people. You let emotions run you, you let craving run you, you let loneliness run you. That's not discipline, that's emotional slavery. Stoicism teaches this. A man is only strong when he can detach from outcomes, from panic, from fear, from the need to chase attention, from the obsession to be liked. Most men work hard at everything except the one thing that actually makes them powerful, their inner world. The world respects a man who doesn't need to be everywhere for everyone all the time. The world respects a guy who creates space, who has a mission, who has purpose so deep he naturally has moments of absence, and he's not scared of it. Women feel it, people feel it, life bends around it. Not because he's playing hard to get, not because he's avoiding people, not because he's manipulating, but because he's busy building himself. And that absence? It creates gravity, it builds aura, it speaks without speaking. When a man lives a life worth living, he doesn't need to chase, he doesn't need to beg, he doesn't need to prove himself to get attention or affection. His focus creates scarcity, his mission creates value, his emotional calm creates magnetism. This is why some guys with average looks or simple lives still get respect, attraction, loyalty, because they aren't emotionally cheap. They aren't everywhere. They aren't available on command. They aren't thirsty for validation. They have identity, depth, direction. That's the thing weak men never build. If you stay for this full video, you will learn how detachment gives you power, how absence creates attraction, how purpose gives you aura, how self-worth makes you magnetic, how emotional discipline becomes respect, how real confidence comes from who you are, not what you own. This script will show you how to shift from being a disciplined loser to a masculine leader, not with tricks, not with fake confidence, but with real inner strength. You ever notice something strange, like how the moment you stop trying so hard, people suddenly start paying more attention to you? It feels almost like magic, but also a little scary, because you start thinking, wait, if doing less makes me more powerful, then what else have I been doing wrong all this time? And that's where the real questions begin. Why do some men chase love until their chest hurts, while other men barely lift a finger and still get respect? Why do some guys give everything time, money, effort, attention, and still end up ignored while another man simply exists and she keeps checking her phone for him? Why does it feel like the more you try to be a good man, the more people take you for granted, and the moment you stop bending over backward, suddenly you're interesting again? Why does life work like that? Why does attraction work like that? Why does power work like that? These questions confuse a lot of men, but they're only confusing because nobody teaches you the truth. Not in school, not in movies, not in society, not even from your own experiences sometimes. It's like everyone's following a silent rule book and you're handed the wrong version. A truth every man needs, a truth that saves you from wasting your whole life trying to be good, when what you should be is centered, whole, and focused on your life first. The real problem, and why you didn't see it. Let's talk in simple words now. Most men grow up believing one thing: if I give more, I will get more. Give more love, give more time, give more effort, give more affection, give more attention. Sounds nice, right? Sounds kind, sounds logical. But here's the hidden trap. When you give too much, when you give too fast, when you give without being asked, you accidentally tell the world, my time isn't that important, my life isn't that full. My value is tied to what I give, not who I am. And even if you don't say it out loud, people feel it. Women feel it deeply. You become expected, not special. You become constant, not exciting. You become always there, not valuable. And it hurts because your heart was in the right place, but your behavior was in the wrong place. Listen closely. Here is something that very few men understand, and this is where your power truly starts. A man who lives a full life automatically creates distance, naturally, not because he is playing games, not because he wants to seem cool, not because he is trying to trick someone. No, it happens because his mind is busy building something real, something solid, something that makes him proud when he wakes up. And this natural space, this natural absence, it changes the way people see you. It makes you rare, valuable, respected, and centered. Because when a man is focused, the world sees him different. You become a man who has a path. And women don't want to be your path. They want to walk next to a man who already has one. That's the value hiding behind these problems, the value no one explains because it sounds too simple, but it's the truth men need the most. The shift you must make. This page is about one thing. Stop believing your worth comes from what you give, and start understanding that your worth comes from who you become. Because the moment you shift your focus inward toward your goals, your work, your craft, your mission, your peace, you stop trying to win anyone. You stop trying to impress anyone. You stop chasing love like it's the prize at the end of the race. You become the prize. Not in an arrogant way, but in a calm, stable, powerful way. A way that says, I live my life fully. If you want to be part of it, there's space, but I'm not abandoning my path. That is value. That is attraction. That is masculine peace. You ever wonder why some people become more interesting the moment they stop talking? Why a person who says less somehow feels louder? It's weird, right? Like silence has its own voice, and stillness has its own power, and presence can be felt even when someone isn't standing there at all. And it makes you think, what makes one man unforgettable while another man gets forgotten, even when he's trying so hard to be seen? Why does one man stay on her mind for hours, even without texting, while another man is texting paragraphs and she barely replies? Why do women replay the voice of a calm man in their head, but get bored by the man who keeps trying to be romantic every 10 minutes? Why does a man with quiet confidence feel safer, while a man with loud insecurity feels heavy? These questions hit different because they expose a truth most men never notice. Sometimes your power shows up strongest when you don't bat. Now let's break this open, slowly, deeply, and in simple words, so you understand what's really happening. The invisible problem most men miss. Most men try to be visible all the time. Visible in her phone, visible in her day, visible in her mind. But visibility doesn't create value. Visibility doesn't create desire. Visibility doesn't create connection. Here's the real problem. When you try too hard to be present, you erase the mystery that makes you attractive. Because if you're always there, she never gets time to wonder about you. If she never wonders, she never imagines. If she never imagines, she never desires. This is the hidden danger. Constant presence kills curiosity, and curiosity is the engine of attraction. But no one teaches you this. No one tells men that being always available is not kindness, it's self-wiping. You become normal, predictable, expected, like background noise in a room she already got used to. And once you become expected, your emotional value drops instantly. The real value, silent strength. There's a kind of power most men never practice, a quiet power, a calm power, a power that doesn't shout to be noticed. It's the power of silent strength, the kind that makes people lean in instead of push away. Silent strength means you're not afraid of gaps, not afraid of not texting every second, not afraid of not explaining yourself, not afraid of being alone. Because your life is so full, you don't need to fill every second with noise. And here's the secret value. Your silence gives her space to feel, to miss, to think, to wonder what you're doing, to imagine your world, to desire your presence. See, when you're not around, your space becomes a mirror. Women feel the absence of men they respect, not because you're doing something mysterious, but because a man with purpose becomes memorable, even in silence. This is attraction without effort. This is desire without chasing. This is connection without force. The shift into real masculine presence. Let's make it even simpler. Your presence should feel chosen, not automatic, not cheap, not expected. When you're with her, you're fully there, warm, calm, real. But when you're away, you're fully gone, focused, busy, living. That balance creates a rhythm. A natural, healthy tension. A pull and rest energy that humans respond to deeply. You don't need tricks. You don't need to hide. You don't need to act different. You just need to live with purpose, strong enough that your attention becomes a gift, not a constant stream. That's the masculine presence women feel in their chest. That's the space where she starts asking, where is he? What is he doing? Why do I miss him like this? And none of it is manipulation. It's simply a man living a real life, not centering his whole world around being noticed. Let me ask you something strange, but stay with me, because it might change how you see yourself forever. Why do some men glow, even when they're not trying? Why does a man who walks with direction feel more magnetic than a man who walks with speed? Why does a man with purpose feel big, even if he's quiet, simple, or not the strongest in the room? And here's the crazy part. Why do women chase the man who is focused on something bigger than them, while they ignore the man who makes them his entire world? It doesn't make sense at first, but it does when you look deeper. So let's talk about the hidden problem that no one tells men about. The problem that steals their power, their aura, and their attraction without them even noticing. The problem no one warns you about. Why do so many men wake up one day feeling empty, feeling tired, feeling like something is missing, even when they're trying so hard to be enough? Why do men lose their confidence the moment a woman becomes their main mission? Why do they suddenly feel scared to lose her, scared to say the wrong thing, scared to upset her, scared to be themselves? Why does love feel heavy when you're doing everything right? Why does chasing approval kill your strength so fast you don't even remember what real confidence feels like anymore? These are painful questions, but they matter, because behind all these problems is one simple mistake. Men abandon their purpose and expect a woman to replace it. And she can't, not because she's wrong, but because she's human. A woman cannot carry the weight of a man's unlived life. The real value, purpose creates aura. Let's make it simple. A man without purpose feels empty inside, and women can feel that emptiness, not with their eyes, but with their intuition. And a man with purpose, he feels full, not full of ego, not full of noise, but full of direction, full of energy, full of something he's building. A man like that has natural aura. You can't fake it. You can't buy it. You can't copy it from Instagram. It comes from movement, from momentum, from working on a life that is real. A man with purpose becomes valuable, not because he tries to be valuable, but because his life is valuable. And here's where the magic happens. A woman doesn't fall for a man who worships her. She falls for a man who is creating a life she wants to join. That's the difference between attraction and attachment, between desire and dependence, between power and weakness. The secret of natural attraction. Women don't want to be your reason for living. They want to be your reason for smiling while you live. They don't want you to give up your dreams for them. They want you to build your dreams for them. They want you to build your dreams for them. They want you to build your dreams for them. They want you to build your dreams for them. They want you to build your dreams for them. They want you to build your dreams for them. Power. And invite them into the warmth of your world. They don't want to be the center of your universe. They want to orbit something bigger than both of you. Your mission, your growth, your direction, your character. When your life has purpose, your time becomes valuable. Your attention becomes rare. Your presence becomes meaningful. You don't have to be absent on purpose. You don't have to create space intentionally. Your purpose does it for you, naturally, honestly, without force. This is the real power most men never touch. Because when you're busy building your world, people feel the gravity of it. They feel the pull, they feel the respect, they feel the desire to be part of it. The shift that makes you unforgettable. When a man centers his life around his mission, he becomes calmer, he becomes more stable, he becomes less emotional over small things, he becomes harder to shake, he becomes easier to admire, his emotions stop exploding, his fears stop controlling him, his mind becomes cleaner, his presence becomes stronger, because he's no longer depending on a woman to give him purpose, to give him identity, to give him direction. She becomes a part of his life, not the foundation of it. And that right there is the masculine energy that pulls women in without a single chase. That's how purpose turns into power. That's how focus turns into attraction. That's how direction turns into aura. Let me hit you with something that might feel uncomfortable, but you need to hear it. Why do people treat the busy man better and ignore the man who is always free? Why does the man who has less time get more respect, more attraction, more attention? And why does the man who is always available, always ready, always saying yes, end up feeling like he's invisible? Strange, right? But there's a reason. And it's one of the biggest problems men face today without even knowing it. The problem, being too available, kills your value. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. When your time is cheap, your presence becomes cheap. But think about it. How often do you reply too fast? Say yes even when you don't want to? Drop your plans instantly for someone? Make others a priority while you treat yourself like an afterthought? Feel scared to say no? How many times have you felt like the backup plan? How many times have you waited for someone who didn't wait for you? How many times did you clear your schedule for people who didn't clear anything for you? And the worst part, how many times did you pretend you were okay with it, even though you felt that sting inside your chest? You don't feel it at first, but slowly it turns into resentment, then confusion, then self-doubt. And finally, you start asking the painful question, what's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. The problem isn't who you are. The problem is how you treat your time. Scarcity isn't about games. It's about self-respect. Listen carefully, because this is where the real value sits. Scarcity doesn't mean you act distant. It doesn't mean you pretend to be busy. It doesn't mean you disappear to force someone to chase you. That's childish. That's game playing. That's manipulation. Scarcity means this: your time is precious because your life is full. A man with a mission doesn't have empty hours to give away. A man building himself doesn't have space for every little distraction. A man growing his mind, his body, his money, his skills doesn't need to act scarce. He is scarce naturally because he's doing things that matter, and that creates value without effort. People value what is rare. People chase what is hard to get. People respect what isn't always available. This is basic human psychology, not romance, not manipulation, not tricks, just reality. When you value yourself, others follow. Let me tell you something that hits deep. When a man respects his time, everyone else respects it too. Your presence feels stronger, your words feel heavier, your no feels powerful, your yes feels meaningful. When you stop being available to everyone, you start becoming valuable to the right ones. And women feel this instantly, not because they're testing you, but because they can sense when a man has a life bigger than her. A man with direction is magnetic, a man with goals is rare, a man with real boundaries is unforgettable. You don't need to brag, you don't need to flex, you don't need to explain yourself. Just live your life, live it fully, live it with intention. Your absence becomes a message, your presence becomes a reward, your time becomes something they feel honored to receive. This is power, not power over others, power over yourself. When you protect your time, you protect your energy. When you protect your energy, you protect your growth. And when you protect your growth, you rise above the noise. Scarcity is not running away, it's rising up, not hiding, but building. Not games, but discipline. A man who lives like this doesn't need to chase anyone. People simply come to him and stay, because they feel the value he brings, value that only grows over time. Let me ask you something a little wild. Why do some men lose everything the moment they feel something? Why does one tiny text message, one cold reply, one strange mood shift from a woman turn a strong man into a confused, stressed-out version of himself? Why do emotions hit some men like a storm, while others stay calm like they're made of stone and fire at the same time? And more importantly, why does calmness make a man 10x more attractive, while emotional chaos makes him easy to ignore? Let's get into it, because this problem is bigger than you think. Why emotions crush so many men? Be honest for a moment. How many times has your mind gone crazy over something small? A text she didn't send, a story she posted, a plan she changed, a tone that felt different, a delay that made you overthink everything. You try to tell yourself it's nothing, but your brain starts running fast like a scared dog. Your chest feels tight, your stomach turns, your peace breaks. Why? Because nobody taught men how to handle their emotions without drowning in them. Nobody said, hey bro, your emotions are normal, but if you let them drive the car, you're gonna crash your whole life. So what happens instead? Men panic, they rush, they try too hard, they text too much, they talk too fast. They explain things that don't need explaining. They chase comfort instead of building strength. And little by little, their emotional reactions start killing their respect. Their value drops, their presence weakens, their energy becomes unstable, and women feel it instantly. Not because they're cruel, but because emotional chaos feels unsafe, unsettling, heavy. A man who can't hold himself cannot hold anything else. That's the real problem. Emotional mastery is not detachment, it's directal. Let me teach you something powerful. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop reacting. Your emotions still show up, but they don't control you, they don't push you, they don't pull you. You feel them, you breathe, you see what's true, you respond with clarity. That simple difference turns a normal man into a powerful one. A man with emotional mastery doesn't chase reassurance, doesn't panic when someone acts cold, doesn't explode when he's tired, doesn't crumble when things feel uncertain, doesn't try to fix everything instantly. He stands firm, he stays steady, he gives space, he lets things unfold, he controls the direction, not the outcome. Women are deeply attracted to this. Why? Because calmness feels like safety, stability, strength, presence. A calm man is grounding. A calm man is rare. A calm man is a leader without even trying. She doesn't want a robot. She wants a man who can feel, but not fall apart. Calmness creates powerful absence. Here's the part most men never understand. When you stay calm, you naturally create space, and space makes your presence feel stronger, because when you're not reacting, you're not chasing. When you're not chasing, you're not losing yourself. When you're not losing yourself, you become harder to shake. That calm absence, that silent space, makes people think about you, miss you, respect you, value you. You don't do anything dramatic, you just don't drown in your emotions, and that silence is magnetic. Calm men don't force, calm men don't beg, calm men don't panic. Calm men choose how to become that calm man. This is the part where most scripts lie to you. They tell you, just stay calm, as if calmness is a switch. But real calmness is built. It comes from having a life that's bigger than one person, having purpose that pulls you forward, having discipline that keeps you grounded, having routines that anchor your mind, having goals that make drama feel small, having confidence that comes from competence. When your life is full, your emotions stop ruling you, because you have bigger things to focus on. You have real weight behind your soul. Your calmness becomes natural, automatic, effortless, and people feel it. They sense it in your tone, in your silence, in your presence. You walk into a room and nothing shakes you. This is what makes a man powerful. Not aggression, not coldness, not pretending to not care, but steady energy, stable emotion, clear direction. Emotional mastery is not just about attraction, it's about peace, about clarity, about becoming a man people trust, follow, respect, and desire. When you learn to stay calm, you control your life. You protect your mind. You grow your purpose. You lift your value. You rise above the chaos, and the world notices, always. Have you ever noticed something strange? Some men walk into life with no fancy skills, no special gifts, no big background, yet people treat them like they matter. And then you see other men working every day, grinding for years, doing everything right, and still nobody respects them. Nobody listens, nobody feels pulled toward them. Why does that happen? Why do some men become magnetic while others stay invisible? Is it luck? Is it talent? Is it genetics? Or is it something deeper, something most men never even look at? Let's talk about it, because this might be the most important page for your life. Why men feel empty even when they work hard. Let me ask you a few questions that might hit you hard. Why do you wake up tired even when you sleep enough? Why do you feel busy but not powerful? Why do you do so much but still feel like you're getting nowhere? Why are you surrounded by people but still feel unknown? Why does your life look okay but doesn't feel meaningful? This is the secret nobody tells men. Hard work without direction destroys you. Many men grind every day, but they don't know where they're going. They don't know why they're doing anything. They don't know what their life is meant to build. So what happens? Their work becomes noise. Their energy becomes drained. Their identity becomes lost. Their value becomes invisible, and worst of all, they place meaning into the wrong things: people, attention, validation, relationships, women. They start depending on others because they have no inner compass, and when a man has no purpose, he becomes weak, even if he works hard, even if he's smart, even if he tries his best. Purpose is the engine. Hard work without purpose is a car with no fuel. It just sits there, or rolls downhill. Purpose is not what you do, it's what you build inside. Most men think purpose means a job, a hobby, a skill, a career. But that's not purpose, that's activity. Purpose is the direction of your soul. It's the reason you get up. It's the thing that makes you feel alive. It's the fire that gives every action its meaning. Let me break it down simply. A man with purpose is a man who knows where he's going. A man without purpose is a man drifting around. And women can feel this instantly. A man with purpose has clarity, focus, pride, backbone, standards, weight in his presence, a life she wants to join, not replace. A man without purpose has confusion, neediness, weak boundaries, emotional spiraling, no direction, no inner gravity. No amount of charm, looks, or jokes can fix that. Your purpose is your foundation. Without it, everything collapses. How purpose creates natural detachment without trying. Here's where things get powerful. When a man has real purpose, he doesn't need to act detached. He is detached because his life is already full. He already has a direction that matters more than attention. Purpose creates natural space, natural absence, natural scarcity. Not because you're trying to create distance, but because you genuinely have things to do, things that matter, things that build you. And in that space, people start noticing your value. They feel your ambition, your focus, your seriousness, your mission. Your purpose becomes your aura, a real one, not something forced. This is the energy of men who rise, men who stay stable, men who become leaders, men who get chosen without chasing. Purpose builds a frame around your life that makes everything else feel small compared to your mission. And women feel that deeply. They want to be part of a man's journey. Not his whole world, not his oxygen, not his only meaning. OW to begin finding purpose without overthinking. Most men say, I don't know my purpose, but that's because they look for it in the wrong place. They think it should be some huge thing, some perfect dream, some big destiny. But purpose starts small. It starts with what challenges your mind, what excites your heart, what builds your confidence, what makes you feel proud, what forces you to grow, what you're willing to grind for, what gives you momentum. Purpose is discovered through trying, failing, learning, and repeating, not sitting still waiting for answers. Start with small actions, small goals, small improvements. Purpose grows like a tree. Roots first, then the trunk, then the branches. You don't need a perfect plan, you just need direction. And little by little, men who build purpose stop feeling lost, stop feeling weak, stop feeling invisible. They start becoming warriors. Purpose is not about being busy, it's about being aligned. It's the thing that gives your life weight, the thing that builds your presence, the thing that creates natural detachment, the thing that makes you strong even on your bad days. A man with purpose becomes rare, and a rare man becomes valuable, and a valuable man becomes desired in every area of life. This is how you stop being a disciplined loser and start becoming a disciplined leader. What if the real reason people lose power in relationships is not because they care too much, but because they care in the wrong direction? What if the attraction you want disappears the moment you start caring about the outcome instead of caring about your inner state? What if the real danger is not liking someone, but letting their reactions decide how you feel about yourself? And what if everything you think is love is actually a silent trap pulling you into emotional weakness without you even noticing? Have you ever noticed how fast your confidence drops the moment someone doesn't text you back? Why does your mind suddenly freeze and start creating scary stories? Why do you start asking yourself if you said something wrong, if they lost interest, if someone else replaced you? Why does one tiny delay make your whole inner world shake? Why does your energy fall only when they pull away, but not when you pull away? Isn't that strange? Have you ever wondered why your emotional life feels tied to other people's behavior, even though you know it shouldn't be? Why do your emotions act like a puppet on strings someone else is holding? Why do you feel calm when they show interest, but stressed when they don't? Why do you feel powerful when they chase you, but weak when you start wanting them more? And here's the deeper question. Why does their attention feel like oxygen, and why do you panic the moment it disappears? This entire emotional chaos comes from one mistake. You give more attention to the outcome than to your own direction. Read that again. Most people obsess over, will they respond? Will they choose me? Will they leave? Will this work? But here's the truth, elite, mentally strong men understand. You should never build your feelings on uncertainty. You build your feelings on identity. Let me explain. When your mind is outcome-focused, you become reactive. When your mind is identity-focused, you become powerful. When you chase outcomes, you wait, you fear loss, you overthink, you lose control, you attach your self-worth to someone else's choices. But when you build identity, you stand still, you stay centered, you respond, not react. You choose who enters your life. You don't negotiate your value. This is the shift that changes everything. Outcome mindset equals, I hope they choose me. Identity mindset equals, I choose who gets access to me. One mindset makes you insecure, the other makes you magnetic. Here is the practical transformation. Step 1. Stop evaluating yourself based on their response. Your value doesn't move up or down based on someone's reaction, only your mind moves. Step 2. Give attention to your direction, not their behavior. Ask yourself, where am I going? What is my standard? How does my life look without this person? This brings your power back. Step 3. Make decisions that protect your emotional energy. Instead of waiting for reassurance, become the reassurance. Instead of asking, do they like me? Ask, do I like the version of myself in this situation? That question changes your entire emotional posture. Here's the paradox. People don't fall for the person who wants them the most. They fall for the person who respects themselves the most. When your identity is strong, you don't panic, you don't chase, you don't bend, you don't break, you don't lose your center. And guess what? That calmness becomes rare, that calmness becomes attractive, that calmness becomes your advantage, because nothing is more magnetic than someone who is emotionally unshakable. What if the real reason you lose control in relationships isn't because you feel too much, but because you don't notice the tiny moments where you silently give your power away? What if attraction doesn't fade suddenly, but dies slowly, every time you break your own standards just to keep someone close? And what if the real lesson is this? Power isn't taken from you, you hand it over in small emotional transactions you don't even see happening. Have you ever caught yourself saying, it's fine, even when something bothered you, just because you didn't want conflict? Have you ever allowed behavior you disliked simply because you were afraid being honest would push them away? Have you ever pretended you didn't care when deep down you cared a lot? Why do you stay quiet when you should speak? Why do you accept disrespect when your mind screams that it's wrong? Why do you keep forgiving what you shouldn't tolerate? Why do you fear losing someone more than you fear losing yourself? Why does your heart race when you want to express a boundary? Why does your voice shake when you try to say no? Why does your stomach tighten when someone crosses a line, yet you do nothing? Why do you over-explain yourself? Why do you feel guilty for having needs? Why do you think you must earn the right to be respected? And here's the sharpest question of all. Why is someone else's comfort more important to you than your own dignity? The answer is simple. You don't lose attraction because of what you do. You lose attraction because you abandon yourself. Every time you shrink, every time you stay silent, every time you choose peace over self-respect, every time you break your own boundaries to keep someone, you teach them exactly how to treat you. But here's the twist most people never understand. When you break your own standards, you teach them to break them too. When you ignore your own feelings, they start ignoring them too. When you stop respecting yourself, they stop respecting you. Attraction doesn't die in arguments. Attraction dies in the quiet moments where you betray yourself. Here's the powerful shift that changes everything. Stop guarding the relationship. Start guarding your self-respect. Because people don't stay for comfort. People stay for standards. People don't admire the one who bends. They admire the one who knows where they stand. People don't feel drawn to someone who says yes to everything. They feel drawn to someone who only says yes to what aligns with their identity. This is the part that flips the entire dynamic. The one who protects their standards automatically becomes the leader of the connection. Why? Because boundaries create clarity. Clarity creates stability. Stability creates attraction. Attraction creates pursuit, and that pursuit is what makes you powerful. Here are the 3 identity principles that rebuild your emotional strength. 1. If something bothers you, address it immediately. Silent resentment kills attraction faster than honesty ever will. 2. Never abandon a standard to keep someone interested. If someone loses interest because you stood for yourself, they were never meant for your life anyway. 3. Speak your truth calmly. Even if your voice shakes, confidence is not loud. Confidence is consistent. You don't need to argue. You don't need to prove. You don't need to shout. You only need to be loyal to yourself. Because the moment you choose self-loyalty over someone else's approval is the moment you become untouchably attractive. Here is the truth that changes men forever. You don't become powerful by being perfect. You become powerful by refusing to betray yourself. People feel magnetized towards someone who protects their inner world. Why? Because most people don't. Most people lie to themselves. Most people avoid conflict. Most people sacrifice dignity to feel accepted. But the few who don't, the few who stand firm, the few who speak clearly, the few who honor their own standards, they become unforgettable, they become rare, they become desired, and that is the level you are rising into. The last turn that makes them feel something deep. What if the whole time you thought you were chasing strength, you were really running away from yourself? What if the real power wasn't in doing more, but in finally stopping the invisible war inside you? What if you don't need to become a new man, you just need to become the man you were supposed to be before the world made you doubt it? Before the heartbreak, before the fear, before the overthinking, before you let anyone teach you that your worth must be earned. What if the strongest version of you was never lost, just ignored? A truth men feel, but never say out loud. Let me ask you something simple. When did you first start believing that love means losing yourself? Think about it. Who taught you that being good means being weak? Who taught you that caring means chasing? Who taught you that attraction comes from effort, not energy? Who taught you that the only way to keep someone is to give them everything and keep nothing for yourself? Because here's the honest truth you weren't told. You were never meant to be a man who begs for connection. You were meant to be the man whose presence creates connection. And the moment you stepped into detachment and self-respect, you returned to that blueprint, that original self, the grounded one, the calm one, the present one, the one who doesn't need control because he is control. Here is the last missing puzzle piece. You don't become powerful by changing how you act. You become powerful by changing where you stand inside yourself. Because when a man stands in a steady place inside, something magical happens. He doesn't chase, he doesn't force, he doesn't doubt, he doesn't fear losing anyone. He doesn't pretend to be calm, he is calm. He doesn't hope for respect, he embodies it. He doesn't wait for attention. Attention naturally falls toward him, and without trying, without tricks, without any games, he becomes desired, not because he pulls away, not because he acts busy, not because he plays scarce, but because his life is full, his mind is strong, his heart is peaceful, his soul is aligned with something bigger than romance. A man like this attracts without effort. A man like this influences without speaking. A man like this creates desire without chasing. A man like this becomes unforgettable. The solution was never out there. You thought the solution was being nicer, trying harder, proving more, giving more, showing more, caring more, sacrificing more, chasing more, but the solution was the opposite all along. The solution was becoming more loyal to yourself than to your fears. And throughout these pages, step by step, you learned the real formula. Ron's it, detach from the noise. Live with purpose bigger than romance. Let your absence come naturally from a full life. Stay steady when emotions rise. Let your values speak instead of your words. Let your energy do what chasing never could. Hold your self-worth with both hands. You didn't just learn a technique. You learned a way of being, a durable identity, a strong internal reality, a masculine center that can't be pushed, shaken, or replaced. Here is the proof that you now hold the solution. Let me show you something. Right now, as you're reading this, your breathing is slower, your mind is clearer, your chest feels lighter, your confidence feels more real, your awareness feels sharper, your standards feel higher, your sense of self feels stronger. Why? Because the transformation already happened. You didn't learn how to act differently. You learned how to think differently, and that changes everything. You now understand, attraction is created from identity. Power is created from emotional stability. Scarcity comes from self-prioritization. Presence becomes magnetic when your life is full. Absence becomes natural when your purpose grows. Confidence comes from competence, not noise. Respect comes from self-respect first. Peace is a choice, not a reward. And now comes the final truth. You're no longer the man who works hard his whole life only to stay weak. You're the man who learned how to use discipline the right way, not for chasing someone, but for building himself. This is the end of the script, but it's the beginning of your new life, a life where you stop needing validation, a life where your worth is non-negotiable, a life where your presence speaks louder than your words, a life where you attract by existing as your true self. The solution is already in your hands, because the solution is you.